From Mencari Newsroom at redmencari.com.
Good morning, this is Miko Santos. Here's the today's rundown. Tuesday, May the 13th, with the top stories. The federal election aftermath continues with significant leadership changes across major parties. The Liberal Party will elect a new opposition leader and deputy today, while the Greens seek replacement for Adam Banth, who lost his Melbourne seat.
Well, I think it suggests we run an open and competitive process, and if you're a member of the Liberal Party room, you're entitled to put your hand forward for leadership positions. Ultimately, the party room will make an assessment about the merits of respective candidates and make a choice, and then I expect we'll all respect that choice and move on from there.
Meanwhile, David Littleproud has been re-elected as National Party leaders, with Kevin Hogan as deputy, emphasizing political priorities including nuclear energy and addressing cost of living pressures.
It's a great honour to lead our great party. I'm proud of our achievements over the last 3 years. The last 3 years where I think we set the policy agenda. We were the first ones to make a principled position on The Voice. We didn't do that in a rushed way. We listened to both sides. We got to a policy position and made sure that we set the tone for the conversation that the Australian people had, and that actually turned the result. It was the Nationals that led that. We've had the courage on nuclear energy, something that our party room has believed in for a very long time. An all renewables approach won't work, but it was our party room, from many people before us, that had the courage to come forward, but it was our party room that delivered it. And I'm proud of the fact that we were the ones to get divestiture powers up. When the big two supermarkets are taking advantage of farmers and consumers, something had to be done. And it was the National Party and many before us, for decades before us, that wanted divestiture powers, but never able to achieve it. It was our party room that did that.
The Labour government has secured the largest ALP caucus in history, and Prime Minister Albanese has announced his new ministry to be sworn this morning.
ALP caucus in history since Federation. A caucus brimming with capacity, talent and energy in both the House of Representatives and the Senate. I think we're up to claiming 92 seats in the House of Representatives, but in addition to that, we have the electorate of Bean, Calwell, potentially Longman as well. So we are ahead in two of those seats, and counting will continue. Calwell will be some time because of the nature of the candidates being close. There'll have to be a full distribution there. And in the Senate, we expect to have at least 28 senators, with additional counting taking place in Western Australia and Victoria. But we are hopeful of securing additional seats in those states as counting continues forward. As a result of that, it is an extraordinary opportunity for ministers, but for the entire caucus going forward.
Trade talks between the US and China held in Geneva over the weekend were described as constructive following tit-for-tat tariff exceeding 100% imposed by both nations.
We'll have to see. There's a lot of pressure on both sides to have an agreement. We see China, whose economy is slowing. It's facing potential bankruptcies if its companies lose access to the U.S. markets. From the U.S. perspective, it's seeing the potential of empty shelves for some consumer goods and big increases to cost for businesses. So both sides want to make a deal, but as you point out, we have really no details about what's come out of the talks, and there were quite a few hours of discussions, and they haven't been able to announce any concrete results. They said that's going to come tonight or tomorrow, Adelaide or Australia time, so I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Both countries are expected to announce details of the negotiation tonight or tomorrow. Australian time, with markets closely watching for sign of agreement that could reduce trade tension. Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky has challenged Russian President Vladimir Putin to meet for ceasefire talks this week, with President Trump having proposed term on March 11th that Ukraine has accepted unconditionally.
Well, it now depends all on Vladimir Putin, actually. And certainly, we've seen this war going on for 3 years. And if everybody shows up in Istanbul, I'm sure they will have a meeting, irrespective of the ceasefire at the moment. However, we have to keep in mind that President Trump proposed the ceasefire on 11th of March. Ukraine accepted the terms of the ceasefire unconditionally, and Russia never accepted those terms of the ceasefire.
European leaders who visited Ukraine yesterday made it clear that if Russia don't accept the ceasefire, more sanctions will be imposed on their shadow fleet, energy sector, and banking system. Tension between the India and Pakistan appear to be easing as fragile ceasefire has held over the past 24 hours, despite initial violation after its announcement over the weekend. The conflict escalated when India struck Pakistan with missile strike on May 7 following a terrorist attack in India-administered Kashmir on April 22nd that killed 26 civilians. New Delhi has accused Pakistan government of orchestrating the attack and claimed Islamabad denies. Diplomatic channels remain open as both nations work to maintain the fragile peace agreement. That concludes our top story for today, May 13. I'm Miko Santos. See you again for another episode.
Subscribe to Mencari for news with authentic Gen X perspective, cutting through the noise with zero fluff. Available now across all podcast platforms. News without the noise, perspective without the panic.